So, it is time to do my second suggestion of this month. And the last two videos will not be suggestions, by the way. So, yeah, we're close to the end of the year, by the way, so, I'll wait later to tell you. Probably until, the next few weeks, but whatever. Today, we're gonna talk about what would happen if Jotaro had decided to go to Italy in Koichi's spot. So, this could change a lot, actually, because Jotaro is a far more different character than Koichi, and we could see a lot more changes coming out of the idea of Jotaro going to Italy, where Koichi originally went. So instead of sending his little reliable butt out, Jotaro just decides to go on his own to hunt down Giorno. So let's talk about how the story would change if Jotaro decided to go to Italy. But before we start the video, I gotta thank the person who requested this video, JoJo Reference. No, sorry, I meant JoJo's Reference. So, yeah, thank you to them for suggesting the idea of Jotaro going to Italy. So, yeah, thanks to them. And let's get the actual video started. So, part 5 starts the same, but instead of it being Koichi, it's Jotaro going to Italy. He decides to go on his own, and he bumps into Giorno in Koichi's spot. Jotaro is obviously not falling for Giorno's tricks and will know it's a scam, but we'll say for the sake of the plot he does. Giorno tries to drive off, but Jotaro stops time to a point where he would get himself all the way in front of Giorno's car. Giorno would stop the car, and Jotaro would just punch the front. Giorno would then go to escape with gold experience, which Jotaro may stop time and or beat him down, and part 5's over. That's what it realistically what happened. But let's say for the sake of the story, Giorno escapes. Before Jotaro can stop time and beat the crap out of him, Giorno somehow makes that alive, and we still meet Leaky Eye Luca. Giorno still is able to kill him. We get Bruno vs. Giorno. Maybe Jotaro could take the spot of Koichi and encounter Giorno earlier, but minus from that, everything goes the same. Jotaro's whole research will instead go to the Speedwagon Foundation, and maybe instead we can get a cameo of Joseph in part 5, which would be nice. But either way, the part would most likely go the same for a bit until Black Sabbath, with Jotaro stopping time and probably being able to kill Popo and Black Sabbath faster. Jotaro finding out there's an arrow involved would probably actually decide to help Giorno. Giorno would probably be okay with Jotaro's help, because more help to help him become a gangstar, and Jotaro would meet Bruno the next day. So they would meet, and Jotaro would get to meet Bucciarati's crew, and it would be a very unique experience, to say the least. I could see Jotaro maybe falling for this whole little piss drink thing. I doubt he would, though, and I don't think Abakio would do it to Jotaro. He'd probably trust him enough. So it's only Giorno who's going to do it. Bruno still goes in, and we still get to have the fight with the Cell and Mario. Cell goes to be the first fight, and time stop would be pretty effective. So soft machine's not a big deal. Next will be Cell, and I don't see Jotaro being involved with this, and this still being Mista's fight. Maybe Jotaro can be there with Mista, and time stop just destroys him, but the fight would probably go the same. I honestly just think Mista would go on his own. So they still meet Trish, and I still think Naranci's fight with Formaggio would go the same, alongside of Fugo versus Elizio, and also with Giorno and Abakio. Maybe Jotaro could be there, but I doubt he would be there. And I think Jotaro can instead take Mista or go alongside Mista during the whole Prosciutto fight, which would be fluffed, unless Prosciutto ages Jotaro down to a point where he can't fight, which Prosciutto probably could kill Jotaro if we're realistically speaking. So that's kind of a stretch actor. So we'll see just part 6 with Jotaro dying early. Way 5, like, first Jotaro may help with some fights like and Demon, but that's kind of all. And he meets all Bruno against Diavolo, meaning Diavolo's not Bruno. So yeah, I think Fugo would belong this line. Sweet Jotaro instead talk Fugo, and Fugo ends up and decides to go along with the group instead. Which is all cool. I know who's going to join in this timeline will be more late, but I'll go more to the story, which I'll wait for the half danger. The big changes will start around Notorious B.I.G. with Jotaro top Naruto, but I would because it may just spread to him. So yeah, that fight would probably go the same, or would probably faster. Maybe Fugo Haze, he could probably still cancel it. The next other fight is when Abakio's death. Fugo could too. I feel like me just gonna Bruno while Abakio still dies. So that goes the same. And Fugo and Narancia would cry. And the died. Show him a picture of Vader and give Narancia watches. And Narancia could grow a bit of a bond because this, and happens. In my opinion, I think Jotaro helps Seko. I mean, not Seko, but Bruno. Because if Jotaro helps Seko, then chances are Chocolate, Seko, and Jotaro just solo everyone. They steal the Requiem arrow and rule all of Italy. Or Jotaro talking to Jitsu's them and they just help them part 6. But anyway, back to the story. Jotaro and Bruno team up against Seko, and he's dealt with faster because time stop. So Jotaro would probably go with Bruno, and because Bruno's not a zombie, he may actually die to Seko, but I doubt he would. So we'll say Jotaro is able to save Bruno and carry the fight. Doppio would probably still find them and maybe help them go there into the Colosseum where they meet Polnareff, and Jotaro, Bruno, and Polnareff would fight Diavolo, and this could be an interesting fight with Silver Chariot Requiem still happening. And as for the body swaps, maybe Fugo can help Jotaro here, and we can get Fugo and Jotaro switching bodies. They meet up with the group, and Narancia still dies. And like what with Narancia earlier, Jotaro would pull Fugo aside and tell him about Kakyoin and his relationship and Kakyoin's death. So the rest of the story would go the same, and Jarno would still get Requiem. It is possible for Jotaro to get Requiem, and we'll talk about that possibility in a few minutes, but the rest of the story would just go the same. Fugo might die, but I think he would still survive, and everything would just go normally. Everyone who lives and dies originally does go through what happened, and Jotaro would just survive part 5, and would probably get even worse PTSD. Probably get more attached to these people. We then go to part 6, which it all depends at this point what Jotaro's whole thing is. Do we get Star Platinum Requiem or not? Star Platinum Requiem, Pucci's going to freaking die. But if we're not giving him Star Platinum Requiem, then part 6 just goes the same. Or unless he calls Jarno in, and that's just a whole nother can of worms. That could probably be a future video of its own, if I can think of some ideas to make it interesting. But yeah, part 6 really wouldn't change much, and that's kind of really where the story would end. Part 6 would either end the same way it originally does, or Jotaro gets the arrow instead, or Jarno's there and helps him, and they just kill Pucci. So yeah, the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Joe, for this video, and if you enjoyed the short, 2 will also be short what if, so don't think. Alright, see y'all later. Peace out.